Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so sorry. Well, Craig, okay. You have not been able to hear me the whole time. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I feel like starting this over, but oh my goodness. So that was really good, wasn't it? Um, and I wonder if it still isn't loading my comments. Okay, oh, yay, I've got it now. There was just this one button. Okay, I apologize. Wow. I should not be doing too many broadcasts in one day because then I make mistakes. Oh, I'll make it quick, you guys. I apologize. You couldn't hear me, and I am assuming you can now. Well, what a silly girl. Well, my guys are on it and told me, so thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you, Ty, and I think you called Dad. You know, I keep saying I'm gonna get my laptop set up so I can verify by looking at it that everything's fine, and I haven't. Okay, so I did not pre-order yet, Joanne. I was going to, and I started, but then I was having issues, and I'm talking about like 1 in the morning, right when we could do it, the first thing. Because I'm a night owl, and I thought I might as well do it right now. Well, then I had issues, and I haven't gone back again to pre-order, but I want to. I just don't know how to decide. Did you order, Joanne? I just need to decide. I'm hoping maybe, yay, thanks, Ty. I'm hoping that maybe Friday we're going to be able to we have a mutual friend to Joanne and I that's going to be showing the products that they're expediting their order. And so we're going to be able to look at it. I thought maybe that would help me to decide what to order because I just don't know. There's too many nice things. So, yeah, let me know, Joanne. So as I was saying, if you guys want to make your own pattern for this was something that I had a couple of people contact me. I had made a card for somebody last fall, I believe, and several people at the time wanted the instructions on how to make it. I hadn't done it yet, so I am doing that now, finally. And so take a screenshot if you want to make a pattern, feel free. This is an 8.5 by 8.5 inch square. You can kind of scale it up and down as depending on how you want to, what size you want. It does barely fit in one of our regular envelopes, and I'll show you more as we go. So I do have a pattern for you there, and I'll explain all of that as we go. If you have a ruler, a pencil, you could use a straight edge. If you happen to have something like a stylus with some like a ball on the end, that is very helpful. Of course, if you have the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it has a scoring blade, or if you have a scoring board, you can use that too. But if anybody doesn't have those items, you could get them, you could order them, right? Or you could make do for now, but you know where to get an order. And that's what I had explained already, you guys. I'm so sorry. If you order in the next week, every week in April, I'm going to be having a different special. It's my birthday month. And so what I like to do is share the goodies there and just kind of have some special things going on. So anybody who orders in this next week until my broadcast starts on next Thursday, then if you've put in a $35 order or more, I'm going to be sending out a stamp set to you as a special bonus. I have some. I'm not going to have necessarily a choice, but I'm going to be sending out. I have several of these stamp sets that I would like to share. So feel free to place an order. If you do, please use the host code on the screen because that is what's going to let me know and alert me to the people that are using that host code and are expecting and hoping to get that free gift. So that is what that whole host code thing means. So feel free to copy that down, write it down so that if you can use that on your order. All right, thanks guys. And any likes and shares would be appreciated as well so I can keep building this up and get a fun group together. All right, I am going to take that off now. And as I was saying, 8.5 by 8.5. That is what I'm using here. This is Pear Pizzazz. And it's one of the colors that goes with the Forever Greenery set that I showed you that you didn't hear me talking about. And that is going to be retiring. But the stamp set, this lovely stamp set, Forever Fern, is not retiring. This will carry over. So as I was saying, if it happens to be something you're interested in, if you order this and get the bundle, which is a nice savings of 10% off, then you know you're going to have it at least for another year because it's going to be in our next catalog. Yahoo! It's a beautiful set with distinctive stamps on the red rubber. We've used it so much. I think it was one of the favorites of most people, or many demonstrators, I should say, had this as one of their favorites. And there's a huge die set that comes with it. It's just gorgeous. You can do so much with it. You've probably seen me use it before. So that is the stamp set that I'm featuring along with the paper, and you can use what you have. If you have a favorite stamp set you want to use or different sentiments or whatever, feel free. And I'm going to get my trimmer, which is actually going to be a scorer for tonight, not a trimmer. I don't think I need much trimmed, but all right. Now, like I said, I'm going to be showing this to you on my scoring board here. If you're doing this without me, or like if you don't have one of those tools and you're having to do it on your own, with just scoring it this way, it might take you longer, so you might just want to do the notes and then come back and try it, because I go a little quicker when you're using one of these, when I use the trimmer. I'm not going to use this cutting blade. I'm only going to use this scoring blade for this project right now. So the first part of the pattern says to go in 2 1/8 inch, and you're going to be doing that on all 4 sides. And another thing for you to know is if it's just a dashed line on the pattern, that means it is a valley fold, which means you're folding it inward like so. If it's a dash with a dot, that means it's a mountain fold. So think of a mountain as tall, you know, so you're bending it and you're folding it back like that. And that does make a difference. So if you can remember that part, then you're going to be able to read this a little easier. So I did write down Geometric Origami Fun Fold, and then the first thing you do, score, number 1 is scoring in 2 1/8 inch in from each side, which is the black. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to take and put our paper on the 2 1/8 inch mark here on our ruler, and then we are going to score. All right, rotate and do this on all 4 sides. All right, 2 1/8 on all 4. I can't believe I forgot to take the mute off, you guys. Whoa, what a day. If there is a mistake I haven't made yet, I usually get around to it eventually. All right, and one time, wasn't that long ago, instead of using regular adhesive, I was using repositionable. And I thought, why is this adhesive not working? And that's why it was repositionable adhesive. So you just never know what's going to happen, right? So now for these, the mountain folds are all that's left then. I'm going to be just still scoring them on the same side, but then when I actually burnish them, I'm going to be folding them back. So number 2, make a tick mark on the center of each side at 4 1/4 using a pencil. So what does that mean? Okay, get a pencil. If you probably have yours already. I just don't have mine out. So this length of this side is 8 1/2. So the center mark, I want to make a center mark on all 4 sides. So if I put my trimmer here, or you make a mark with your ruler, it's going to be at 4 1/4. And I know that is the center. So I'm just going to make a little mark here. You could use your trimming blade and just make a little tick mark with your scoring blade as well. I'm just going to use this, just do it this way right now. So 4 1/4 to find the center. Four and a quarter, find the center. So if you don't know what I mean, I was saying, or what I meant was you could take this scoring blade and kind of do a little wiggle here, and then take it down to this side and do a little wiggle, and that would be giving you the center of this both two sides at once. So you could do it that way, but I'm just doing it more the manual way for now, so people can kind of see. Now what you're going to do is score from one mark to the other mark. And so as I was showing on here, number 2 is making the tick mark. Number 3 is, well, there's my tick marks. Number 3 is score from each of these tick lines, go from one to the other. So you're making a diamond pattern. So you can do that. Of course, you would use your ruler, and you could do it that way. But I am going to be using the trimmer because it's easier, and I'm just putting my 2 tick marks in the little groove here so that my scoring blade will just go right where I want it to go and make a nice score mark. Okay, so you do that on with all 4 tick marks, or all 4 sides, the tick marks on each one. So I'm going to be making 4 lines, 4 scored lines here. And there we go. There's 2 down. And put it up there. Do the third one. Okay. 1 more. Okay. So this one goes there and here, like that. Last one on that step. Okay. So now, I don't know if you can see it at all. Oh, not much, can you? I'm trying different lights. Boy, not easy to pick up. But what it is you have the marks like that, and then you have like a diamond in the middle. So now the only other thing left to do is you don't really have to mark anything, but to do the corners, you're going to be, that's the number 4 here, and I have that kind of a teal color. And so each corner is just going to be getting a score mark from line to line, just those 4 corners, okay? And I'll do that here. If you had a ruler, like I was saying before, you would just take that and use a scoring tool like a bone folder or something kind of sharp, but that it won't cut it. So I am putting those score marks that came to the edges right in that track area. And it's really hard for me to see, so I would assume it's about impossible for you. But the lines kind of come about here and here. So now I'm going to score on that corner. And let's see, there's another one. I can't really see here. I'll put my head right in your way. So I'm going to kind of just make little marks. Just for the sake of this, I would not do this. Normally, I'd put my big old head right in the way and find where I was going. All right, so there we go again. I'm going to try the corner one on this one, and you can see hopefully a little easier. And I'm going to score that corner, score this corner. All right, I want to try to get it as accurate as possible. And then this other one, I'm going to mark that spot as well, just so we can see it easier. Okay, you know, I was trying to think of a good April Fool's Day joke that I could come on and say, but I don't know, maybe having a muted audio is kind of a April Fool's joke, right? I meant to do that, yeah. Okay, now we're going to burnish. I'm going to erase these pencil marks so I don't forget, because that wouldn't be pretty. Alrighty. Goodbye, pencil marks. I really like this Pear Pizzazz paper. It's just so, I don't know, like a peaceful green. Could that possibly be a good way to describe it? I don't know, but it comes to mind for me. So what I don't know if you remember, I'm going to start first by doing the valley fold, which is the 4 black lines on the pattern. I'm going to fold and burnish those. So you just want to get, even if you have like a credit card or the edge of a a stamping block or something that's kind of sturdy, then you can get a nice crisp fold here on these. All right, so we're gonna burnish that down to get a nice fold. So this is just one of those cards that's a little bit maybe kind of putsy, but it's just so different and so cool. In my humble opinion, I just think it's kind of one of those that you go, wow, I did not know you could even do that. Next I'm going, did you notice now, so these are our valley folds. To get these to be mountain folds, we want them back. So I'm turning this over and I'm just going to be doing the rest of the folds on the back side to make it the correct fold. So each corner and each, it's parallel here. These are parallel lines. Each corner has 2 parallel lines to burnish. And I see another hiding little pencil mark I'll get rid of. And it just, this really does make a difference to how your project comes together if you can get nice crisp folds. Alrighty. Okay. If I could speed it up, I would. Like I do that sometimes for videos, maybe on YouTube or whatever. So, but I can't speed me up on when it's live. All right, let's see. How are we coming? So this is flipped back over again, and I have all the sides scored the way they're supposed to be. Valley, 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 valley. And then we have mountain and mountain on each side, okay? Just like a peak of a mountain, so you want it back, that type of a fold. Okay, like so, all the sides. So now it's basically just trying to get it to cooperate, to come together. So you're kind of getting it started here. Each corner, it really kind of just folds together on its own. So if you take these 2 on this side, oh great, the phone's ringing.
I got it.
So take your 2 sides and go like that. Okay. Okay, I thought you got it there, Craig. You guys don't want to hear a phone ringing. Sorry about that. And then do the next corner. You're just kind of reinforcing those folds and getting them exactly where you want them, and nice crisp fold. Kind of press down kind of hard on that. It's going to force it to do what you want. So again, each corner, putting those 2 sides so that these corners and points are coming into the center, and then this is folded back. And I like to get a nice crisp fold down in here if I can. And that gets a nice crisp corner. You might have to force it a little bit sometime. Now this one, it didn't really come together perfectly this time. I was probably sidetracked and who knows what I did. But it won't really be a big deal because look at that, would ya? Now, oh my goodness, yeah. I must have done something wrong, because that is not as exact as I would like it to be. Yeah, no. I'm kind of forcing it into place. It's not gonna matter. Ugh, but it's just not how I want it to be. I like it to be perfect. I think I did a little bit wrong on the scoring. Must have been this one. I probably didn't get it right on the edge or right in the center. Let's see what I did wrong. Okay, so I am looking for my 4 1/4 mark here. The center of that is 2 1/8. Oh gosh, yeah, that's not the best, is it? So that was the center, and I was supposed to go from there. I have never done this before. As far as this error, of course I do that. I did that on purpose so you guys could, make sure that if you had this problem, then you would know what to do. So I'm gonna kind of maybe rescore this a little. I think that might help. And I'm probably being a little bit of a perfectionist, but it's bothering me. So I'm gonna kind of rescore this one and move that just a little bit. And I don't know how it'll work, but I just can't stand it the way it is. All right, come on. Let's see if that's better there. And then I'll do this one too again, using my new marks. Yeah, I must have just been off enough to make it not come together perfectly. I can't have that. Okay, so maybe this will help get it where you want it. It might not look as good as when it's finished though, but whatever. I can't help it now. So I am gonna try to force it to score in this new spot and see if it'll cooperate. Yeah, I think that'll be a little better, hopefully. Because this should meet, you know, like that better. Who knows how it's going to look when we actually get it. But it'll be fine. It'll be what it'll be. Que sera, sera. Does anybody know that one? Joanne probably does. And I don't know if Cindy's here. You probably would too. Que sera, sera. Depends on your age, I bet. Okay. Okay. There. I think that's better. Not perfect at all, but it's not going to matter because nobody's going to see those little things, those little imperfections. See what I mean, you guys? How fun is this? Woohoo! So it's down and it's open. Doesn't it remind you of like something that's blooming? It does me. I don't know. Blooming geometric origami. How's that? Okay. So that's the base of the card. Make yourself a pattern because it is something that you might not remember how to do a month down the road, but if you take and make good notes, you will remember. I also had done this. This is just my prototype or one of my patterns. I usually just use some craft paper, that super cheap stuff that I got one time a long time ago. That's 12 by 12, and then I just use that for my patterns. So I don't have to use my good Stampin' Up! Paper. So this is 8 by 8, and this one comes out to be, let's see, this one that we're making today, which is 8.5 by 8.5, will come out to be 4 1/4, and then the 8 by 8 comes out to be 4, so it's half of the size. So if you have a 12 by 12 piece, it's going to be 6 inches square. If you have 4 by 4, it's going to be 2 inches, which would be too small. And then what I did is I wrote myself a note so that, for example, this is the inside, 1 1 1 1. So these are some areas you may wish to decorate. You don't have to. If you do, then on the back I put number 1 is this size, and how many do you need if you want to decorate that area. And then the next area is number 2. Number 2 I just put in the corner here. So if you wanted to decorate that corner, then I would know that I would need 1 3/4 inch squares for those corners if I want to decorate them with a like a patterned paper, DSP as we call it. Now I also adhere this together and hold it together with a belly band. So that is something else I'm going to show you. But we're going to kind of start on the decorating part of it now. And so let's get this going. I am going to have on the inside, I'm just going to use one of these to start with. And so I got to get out my adhesive. You want it to be pretty strong. It doesn't have to be too bad, but I'm using Stampin' Seal. Yeah. Get her started here. And you just need enough to make it stick. It's very good quality sticky. It's not quite as sticky as our Seal Plus. That is like super, super sticky. But this is going to be fine for what I want it for now. And you just put it in here any which way. You're going to decide a little later which side you want, up and down or whatever. So I am centering this in that center section. And then I'm going to do the same on the back. So I want to adhere this other 4-inch square piece to the back. And good strong adhesive there. Start decorating. Now this origami fold, you can do it however you want as far as how much you want to actually decorate. You could just do hardly anything. You could just make it, you know, this center section, and then it's up to you if you do any more. You may think that that's enough, and then just put a little bit on the corners, or you can choose to decorate these 4 or not. You can choose to decorate this area or not. What I decided to do is I'm going to be decorating these 4 triangles and then the corner triangles, okay? So let's start by figuring out if we want to decorate this triangle. We need to have a square it's exactly 3. So I'm going to go a little under. I'm going to go 2 squares of 2 7/8. So we can write it down here on the pattern. I'm just going to write 2 7/8 inch, and that is for I'll just call it a mat. It's just a decorative panel area. So if I get 2 squares that are 2 7/8 inch, they're going to, and cut them in half, they will cover these 4 areas. Okay, so now I need to decide what color I want it to be, and you could go with white, you could go with any of the colors here. I think I'm just going to pick a color that corresponds, and or what you could do, in fact I think I'm going to do this, is I'm going to pull out some of the actual paper from the pack, but I want to go on the back that's a little more muted, or it just doesn't have as much of the greenery part on it, but it'll still go really nice with this color. I think it should go well. And so I'm going to get my trimmer and cut out 2 squares that are 2 7/8 inch, okay? This time I will be using the cutting blade, so I am going to go and put this at, 2 7/8. Wasn't that what it was? Yeah, 2 7/8 inch if I want to mat those 4 corners. So I'm making sure it's all nice and lined up, and we're going to give that a cut. And then I want 2 squares, so I'm going to cut twice at 2 7/8 also. And everything's marked here really well on the trimmer. Oh my gosh, I just pulled this arm off. Okay. And we're going to cut there, and we're going to do that once more, 2 7/8. And then I'm going to cut these in half, so one of the points up, and these are each in the track. You could use scissors, you could use, I don't know, whatever you have. But one thing to keep in mind, if you take your blade and you push it into a point, it's highly likely that it'll smash the corner. So I lift up and I go out from center out, so that you're not going to smash the blade into your corners here and kind of wreck your point. So I'll do that again here. I'm just putting those corners in the tray, in the little slot there, and I am moving that cutting blade to the center and out. All right, so that is going to be part of our decorating. And then the corners, those measure, oops, wrong one. I should be measuring here. The corners will need a square. I go a little bit smaller than the actual square here because we're going to leave a little border around it. So I need a square that is, I wonder if 2 inches is exact. No, since we had gone in 2 1/8, so 2-inch square will be pretty good on that, I think. Won't have a lot of a border, but that's okay. I just want it more of a, you know, less. I want more of a less. That doesn't make sense. I want just a titch of that border showing. So now I'm going to be choosing what paper I would like to have on the corner. And I don't know, maybe I should bring in a little bit of the greenery now. So I'm just going to use this pattern. It's a scrap, as you can see, and the other side is what we have already on there. So the corners, I want to put those in. We're going to go we need two 2-inch squares. So I'm lining up one edge here with the 2, and then I'll just cut twice to get 2 2-inch squares. So I usually put these, I upload them to YouTube. So I think for this one I'm going to have to edit a little bit, and I'll just jump us right into where the sound magically appeared again. Again, we're going to do the same thing, cutting these squares in half to make triangles. Cutting outward. And what you can't see is when we use the trimmer, we're kind of pressing down sometimes. But in the area when I don't want it to, I'm kind of lifting up, and then I put it down and I press. So it's kind of nice that this just really makes it easy that way. And you get a nice straight cut then. So holding my thumb under there to keep it up, and then just cutting outward like that. So we'll put those on the corner. Ah, and one went running away. Okay, it's back. All right, so let's maybe get another thing decided. I'm going to want to put a little white on the inside and the back so that we could have a little area to write and kind of have a focal point in there. So I am going to get the white paper now. And that is just our regular cardstock, you know, the basic white, it's called. And I am going to cut, I think these are 4-inch squares. So I'm going to go 3 3/4 inch squares there. So 3 3/4. And I want one for the inside and one for the back. So there's 3 3/4. There's 1. 3 3/4. There's 2. And of course, you know, all these things go through my mind, like, oh, I should be embossing it with an embossing folder. You know, there's an endless number of things you can do, but you know, it's kind of got a lot going on, so it doesn't need too much. All right, so we're going to pull in some of our decorative pieces. And we will start constructing and doing the fun part, which is the well, depends on what you like. I am also grabbing a stamping mat that I have all ready to go so that we can stamp on it, but it's hiding from me. I'll just do it on here. Because this is red rubber, we don't have to worry about having a stamp and pierce mat underneath of it. So on the inside, you can either decide if you want to have it, the message or whatever. You could go, yeah, you know, you could even go smaller if you'd rather have more of it showing. It depends on how you want to do it. You could do that. Another option would be to use one of those frames. You could put this in there. I wonder if this would fit. That would fit too. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for and who you're making it for. Like how old are they? What would they like? Stuff like that. That's kind of cool. But I don't know if I want to do that. What I'm going to do is do a little stamping, and I am going to have, let's see, which green do I want to use? I have a couple of the greens because I really think they're pretty. On the inside, I also want to put a sentiment, and I'm using "To a Friend That Makes Me Smile." And on the outside, I'll just probably put the word hello. You can use sentiments from other stamp sets if you want a birthday or something like that that you prefer. And I'm actually going to get out, where is it? I'm going to get one of these gold pieces out that has a shape to it. So some of these are all ready to go. Here it is. This is the one that I really thought was pretty for maybe this one. I used the back side of it for the last one, but this one I could just do that and then put a circle sentiment in there, or I could do it this way with just a little bit of the designer series paper showing, and then it could be like that. But I feel like I want to see more of that, so I might be changing it as I go. Oh goodness. I'm going to start by adhering this piece down. And it'll kind of make it a little jazzy, huh? That'll jump out at you. You open it up, it's like, wow! It's very bright, but it's delicate too, and kind of balances out the stripes and the geometric part of it. It kind of softens it to add the greenery. Now I want to make sure that I have a greeting on the inside. I was telling you that I wanted it to say, "To a Friend That Makes Me Smile." I think I'm going to use this garden green for the sentiment. Do that. So we're going to get this inked up well and see how we can just stamp on the fly here. I like to do the stamping and then cut it out. Usually that helps me get it more exact. So here is that sentiment, and I got to get my little scrub-a-dubber out here. I could do it later, I suppose, too, but oh yeah, I will. I'll do it later. Okay, so I'm going to have this on there, but I think I want some kind of something more. And so what I'm going to do is take one of our greenery pieces here. I'm just going to use a little bit of it because you're not going to need much. And I'm just going to kind of put it around by one side of our sentiment. And I'm going to use the lighter ink color this time, which was the Pear Pizzazz. Very pizzazzy. How's that? I just want this to be super light so that it's not, there's so much going on already, but I kind of want to have a little bit of an image here with the sentiment. So I'm stamping off to make it lighter. In fact, if you ever want to do that, you can stamp off a few times and then you can see, do you want it that light or dark, that kind of thing. And in fact, I might even do the lightest one. So I'm inking it up and I'm stamping once and twice, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring it in, and it may overlap a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to be cutting that out, and I'm going to do a little bit more on this side. 1, 2, and I don't really want as much showing. Just put a little bit here. It's going to get cut out, so you're not going to be able to see much of it. All right, so that is that. And then maybe I'll put on the back. Anyways, I'm going to punch this out. There, if you don't have a circle punch, then you can use a die, or you could just make it square, or a diamond shape. That would look nice on the inside and go right along with this theme. If you didn't have this, you could do something that would be more like that, depending on how you have it or want it to be oriented. So I'm grabbing a punch, and these circle punches are going to be leaving, and there's so many of us bummed because they're like the handiest tool ever. And I'm going to get the next size up. And okay, this is a 1 3/4 inch punch, and from my friend Susan Hamilton, she gave me this, and she was a fellow demonstrator who passed away not too long ago from right around Christmas or Thanksgiving, I think. She had cancer, and yeah, she's a super sweet lady, and so I think of her every time I use different things that she, of course, had given me. And I'm going to be doing some nonprofit stuff with our church also, and because I know that would be something that she'd appreciate, making kind of a card ministry. All right, punching that out now. And we will put that on the center here, like so. See, isn't that nice? It fits so perfectly. I am going to use dimensionals on that. You don't have to. They just like to pop it up a little bit that way. I have a sheet here that's just about spent, but gotta keep going with that. You know, sometimes some people like to take the edge of their project and use like a little sponge and ink up the edges with some colored ink, and it really adds a lot to it, to your project, kind of a finishing little touch. I am gonna just do a cheater way, and what I do a lot of times is just kind of roll it on the stamp pad like this, or on the stamp pad. So I'm inking up that edge just a little bit. Can you see it at all? It really doesn't pick up that well here, but on your actual piece, it really kind of defines the edge of it, I guess you'd say. So that is a little fun technique to try. Now I'll adhere this on. Okay, and then even still, it could go any way. Do I want it to be oriented diagonally, or like this direction, like a diamond direction, or do I just want it square? And I think I'm just going to go the squared way, and I want this in the middle and try to get it straightish. So that's just kind of popping up like that. You can see the dimensionals kind of add that depth to it. So the next thing is we had cut out some squares for this, and I have to close up my inks here so I don't make a huge mess. I'm very good at messes. So I'm going to pull in those triangles that we cut. So here are our corners, and here are our inside pieces that we're going to be adding. So this would, I think that's just going to be too much. So I'll go as planned, which was to use this more subtle side, have that up. So I'll go ahead and add some adhesive on those. Tombow, the green glue as we call it, is also a good choice for this. Just something that will stay adhered well. So just get that one put down. This is my wonky one. I don't even know where it's supposed to be. So it was not the best, but this will hopefully detract from the poor job that I did on that part. And put another one on, and you can see that they fit just real nice into that area there. These points up. Okay. Try to get a nice even border around all the sides, like that. Give it a nice press. Oh, come on. I have to convince it sometimes. All right. Okay. This would be really nice too, and for somebody for Easter, you know, use the Easter themed stamps. You could use kind of more of the Eastery colors. It'd be really kind of cool. So it might be a little late now though, right? But I just got mine in the mail not too long ago, and it was later than I wanted, but I usually try to do, or I've been lately trying to do more cards, especially for important holidays and stuff like that, because we don't get to see our family as much anymore, and I just miss that getting together with them and that kind of thing. So at least they know we're missing them, thinking about them. So there's the inside. Okay, so that's all going to come jumping out at you when you open it up. So now the other thing is these four corners. I'm going to throw these, since they're smaller and they're kind of away from the pattern, it shouldn't be too much. I think that'll be okay. So we'll go ahead and get some adhesive on these pieces. What am I doing? Come on. So this is going to barely even have a border, but there is a teeny tiny bit of one. Just a little edge showing. That'll be repeated on all the corners. So now take this pattern and envision all the ways you could go with it. You could make, a card that has scenery, or you could do a card that's really colorful and bright, or one that's nice and soft and pale and muted and that kind of thing, just depending on what you're needing your card for, of course. And so use your imagination. Just kind of depends on what you're needing it for. But this is obviously not something you're going to make 50 of them for everybody you know, right? Because, well, at least I wouldn't. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's just fun. It's one of those, that's why they call it a fun fold, right? Because it's just something different. And this is one of those that people, if they're getting it, they kind of might say, wow, I don't understand this card. How do I do this? But just try to make it obvious and I usually personalize the back. So you'll see that in a minute. But there are our corners that show. So you can kind of get an idea where we're going with this, right? Okay, that is how it's going to look when it's folded shut. This big old screaming issue here that I don't like. But as you can see, it really, really wants to pop open. So we do need to make that belly band for it to keep it closed. But then on the belly band, you can put something that mimics this shape, or it won't really have all of that showing. So, woohoo! Boing! It almost looks like there's something elasticy in there to make it jump. But all right, so belly band time. Just use you can use a strip of paper that you cut off or whatever. I embossed a couple of pieces here. I think it'll be long enough if I just do one. And now a belly band is what they call this when it just wraps around into the center. The biggest, you want to keep in mind that this has a lot of bulk to it. You're not going to want to do this on a scoreboard, using measurements probably, because you just need to have it nice and loose. Now this, I'm trying to get it to meet in the middle. And when I do adhere it together, I'm going to keep it loose so that you can get it on and off. Because if you can't get it off, then what good is it, right? So you kind of make sure that you don't do a lot of pulling before you adhere it. Now what it holds that whole thing kind of together is going to be that focal point piece here. And so did I put this on the back yet? No. What I'm going to do is get a shape, and I'm going to cut out something that's going to go into the center like so. Of course this is too big. I'm going to cut this one down, but you could use a die cut shape or a punched shape. whatever you have that you prefer. This, I'm going to measure this size of this inner square area here. It comes out to be roughly a little over a 3-inch square. So if I want some of it to show, I'm going to use, I would say about a 2.5-inch square might be fine. You could do this in any color that kind of coordinates. I'm kind of just changing my mind to it. Can you tell? I think I might want a little color. And again, tone on tone with this would be beautiful too. That might be very nice. So I am going to go find some of my garden green that I have. It's right here, I think. Is that the one I wanted? Sorry guys, I thought I had it right here, but that'd be too easy, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I'd have to move my whole camera, but that's okay. So I'm just going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to grab the garden green. I like that one too. It's not real bright, which is kind of what I like. Okay, so who knows where my camera is going to be when we get it back here in a minute, but that's okay. 2.5-inch square in the cutter. I'll just go this way with it. Again, this is just going to be for the wraparound belly band focal point part. 2.5 there. And those gold foil pieces like this really just make it so much simpler to decorate. And I want to keep it, I think I might want to go square. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to have it square just because the inside opens square. If you had your message or your inside that was more this way, this direction with a diamond type, then you would want your belly band to mimic that, if that makes sense. Kind of just going the same orientation and direction as your inside. Okay, so to make this one, I'm going to wrap it around and just kind of get the placement going here. It kind of pops up and likes to be naughty, but you just show it who's boss and take your time and like that. Now, it's not going to show whether or not you have this perfectly in the center or not. As long as this is in the center, you're going to be fine. So we're putting that into place, and I'm wanting it to be right in the center on each side, just so we have the right, have it nice and straight and square. Now, to get it here and here, I am going to want to probably use some good strong adhesive that won't show, you know, I don't want it too far out. I just want to make sure it grabs it really well right in this area especially because, you know, that's where it needs to be to hold this whole mechanism or belly band together. It needs to really grab carefully there. So I'm putting that down just kind of as is. I'm keeping it a little loose so that it won't be too tight. That's really important. And just kind of, oh, I wanted it square. What am I doing? But you can see diamond would look really cool too. Okay, is that where I want it? I'm just kind of making sure it's sort of square. Okay, press, press, press. Okay, so that's that. I want to decorate it a little more. So we're going to grab that foil again, those foil pieces. And that is, oh, they're right up here yet. And with this one, I could do something similar. That's too big. I just like the real kind of the daintiness of this, but it's a little big. Those can all be, you know, trimmed down as well. I could just do something like this without a border, and then, you know, put a sentiment on that. I'm going to be putting hello on the front, so I don't need anything really large. We could do like this type of a pattern in the background, at an angle. Do that too. I don't know what you guys like. Kind of want it to, you know, be something that goes along with what we're doing. I don't want to be too busy. Maybe I'll just do like that. That's cute, huh? Just something simple. And I will put another one on there going the other direction. And then we will just have that kind of peeking out from behind our little hello strip that we're going to do, okay? So I am going to use this leftover piece here. I'm not going to leave it this wide because that'll look exactly like the belly band does. But I am going to get my sentiment of hello and put that on my block. You could use like happy birthday. That would work as well. There's a lot of different things you could do. So what if you're a year older, you're fabulous. That'd be cute. And I kind of like this one. Newsflash. This is called, oh, this was a celebration one. So this one you can't get any more. But it is just a funnier saying. It says, newsflash, birthdays found to be good for health. Studies show that people who have more birthdays live the longest. Words of wisdom. Wow, right? Oh, gosh. So I kind of appreciate that little sense of humor in there. One I would probably use, I want it to go with my inside. So I'm just going to use hello. I want to keep the theme from that I talked about, because otherwise you're going to think she changes her mind every 2 seconds on everything she does, which I do, I know, but you know, you kind of, that's part of the creative flow with this. You just sort of see what comes of it. So I'm trying to find a place that I don't have any of that embossing on there, and I'm going to get my ink pad again. I like that, this darker green, garden green it's called. And we have hello inked up on there. Again, I want an open spot. Okay, that's pretty good. There's no like weird halo from pressing too hard, or no light spots. And so that is going to be going on there eventually, but I do want to trim it down and make it more like a banner. So and you can cut these on your own as well, but I have this banner punch, which I really like, but I want to get it even, of course, so I'm going to trim it on my trimmer. Okay. I actually am going to just use this little baby one that we have that we were able to get a while back, but let's see. So I'm going to trim it to be, I want to leave a little extra room so that I can put it in that banner punch and not get it, you know, like too close to the sentiment on there, like that. And I'm going to trim it down so it's not so wide. I want to go approximately. Now I'm trying to make sure that I cut it straight, because I could have, it doesn't matter how you stamp it, it's how you trim it, if it'll be straight or not. And that looks pretty good. I think I might want it a little less though. And then, you know, I could choose, do I want to have it set off any more, like do I want white behind it or anything, but I'm just going to leave it like this. But I do want to punch those banner ends on it. And I always, when you punch these, they have a track that can hold, I think it's a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and then 1 inch widths. And even if they're not exactly those widths, they can kind of go in that general area, push them in, for that general, area, and then look on the back and make sure it's square. So I'm just making sure I'm not off center too much, which I am, and so it's okay. I'm going to try to make it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, a little banner end there. And I'll try to do that, a matching one. Let's see, what do you think? Okay, I gotta go straight on here because it's just wiggly since it's kind of small and I don't have it, doesn't fit exactly in that track, so I'm kind of just making it work, but I don't want it to be off center or it's going to be wonky. We don't want, you know how wonky is. Whoa. Well, hello. Yes, that's pretty darn good, I think. Alrighty, now I want this like so and this like so. We're kind of making something similar to the inside, only it is, you know, much less of a detail. So I just kind of want a little showing there. So what you can do is even just use a little Scotch tape on the back since that's not going to show. And got a little, mine's kind of wide, so that was not the best, but I can trim that off. That's what we have scissors for. And I could have done them both at the same time. That would have been smart. I'm going to put that about there. Whoops. Alrighty. And I got to trim a little off again so that doesn't show. Oh my goodness, I actually trimmed a little much. Huh. Don't be naughty now. I'm talking to the to the paper. I talked to paper apparently. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. It kind of, I did accidentally trim that, but I think it'll stay. I'm going to put a little dab of glue on it when we're all done. But this is the sentiment. I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals. We're getting there, guys. I have some other samples I can show you as well, just to give you some other ideas. I made one last fall out of this autumn paper set that we had, and it was so pretty. It had some gold details in it and stuff, but it was just gorgeous. So this one, we're going to put it in the center of that and hope that it's nice and straight. Okay, I'm looking at it. I think that'll be fine. And pressing that down. And then we need to be able to slip this on here. And then put a little bling on it too. Just kind of hold these corners down as you attempt to put it back. It's not the easiest. And having that belly band wide enough to catch these corners is all it really needs to keep that in place. Now this is one, I don't know that you'd really want to mail it. You could if you had it in like a special mailer maybe, because I'm afraid it would get smashed and who knows what would happen. It does fit in a standard envelope. If you would want to try that, it does, because it ends up being the 4 1/4, which it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is a kind of a standard size for, you know, envelopes. At least for stamping it is. It's kind of your basic size. I think it might be called A2. Oh, jeez, I'm trying to find an envelope, but I have one, and I'll show you in a second. So let's get a little bling going, and then we're almost done. We could use some, like some twine or something too. That would be pretty. I'm using the holiday rhinestones here, and what color do we think? We could do I'll probably just use that green, or even this, this kind of a goldish color would look nice because it would kind of bring out the gold in the leaf there. That either of those would tie in well. So I am going to grab my pointy tool and get that going here. Take your pick tool. So I'm going to take, I usually do multiples of 3 as or you could do 5 if you're really wanting to do a lot. And I'm going to go one here, and I'm going to get, they have different graduated sizes, so I'm going to have 2 this size, and then I will use one bigger one. So then this one I am going to put currently right there. I'm going to put that one here, and then the big one I could put it right here. I'm going to put it over here. And there's no right or wrong, just wherever you feel like doing it. Even though I kind of feel like doing them right. I don't usually do 5. I usually always do 3. But changing my mind with this one because it's kind of an over-the-top card. So, you know, might as well go a little over the top with that too. Like so. Okay. Now you can choose to put a white piece, a white square on the back if you'd like, and then you could have that to be the place that you can write a message to them, to the recipient. You could write them a note. You could just put it inside as well. Hey, you, don't be coming undone. So there we are, guys. You know what would be nice too is to decorate these corners. That would be kind of cool to put something. I could put some, a little piece of greenery on there or something like that, just to kind of highlight that section or those little parts, kind of make them a little more decorated. You could even have it coming out of the back of the belly band, but I am going to say, okay, enough already, quit. But this is, again, you could keep it all plain and hardly do any decorating, or you could decorate like every, I'm going to have to get my Stamp and Seal glue out because it keeps coming undone. It's a lot of pulling because of the bulk. So this is when you really need to have a good adhesive. And in fact, I think I might just take a little Scotch tape to that part as well. You could cover it up with another square if you're not really liking that part. I'm challenged. All right, I am going to adhere that down like that. And like I said, if you want to cover that up with a square the same size or something, you can. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't think people see it. So we have our belly band, and then on the inside, do a friend that makes me smile. Wow. That'll like wake you up if you get something like that, huh? Oh, yay. I think that's pretty cool. All right. So there we are with this one. I'll show you a couple of others I made. I'm gonna find all my goodies here. Oh, you know what? I forgot a bow. I gotta have a bow. I really like this ribbon. It is the pretty peacock and the green, kind of both. And yeah, I think I need to have a bow. I think that'll help. So I'm gonna quick make one, and we will make that kind of look kind of cool. Now this decided to fold over on me a little bit. Let's just get it where we want it. And they do have like bow jigs and stuff like that that you can get that can help you make bows if it's something you're intimidated by or whatever. And they're really not that expensive. You can get some that people make themselves, made out of wood with some like holes and nails in them, and you just wrap it around that. Or you can use, there's some plastic ones that you can just wrap it around, and a lot of them are available. But anyways, so I'm gonna clip this down a little bit, and I can trim it up a little more after I adhere it on to the project. Okay. And I am going to put that on the front, I think. I could do it on this side, maybe like on this side. But I think I'm just going to put it, you know, kind of down here. I don't know if I might be covering up one of my little gems a little bit. I can either move it or just kind of try to have it peeking out. the best thing that I choose to, or what I choose to use for bows are typically glue dots. And I ran out of my good Stampin' Up! Ones, so these are a little harder to navigate because they come out differently on the roll, but I prefer the Stampin' Up! Mini ones. This is kind of big, but you got to do what you got to do, right? Okay, so give that a press, kind of get it to come down just a little bit so that it'll show that little gemstone thing. I'm going to trim these a little shorter and a little shorter. Okay. There, that kind of helps, right? Just kind of finishes it off a little more. And got to make that bow not cover up our hello or our gem. All right, so that's our card for today. And again, I'm going to be showing you some samples. If you put this back on, now I used a 1-inch piece of cardstock, and I think it was the leftover, like a leftover piece from when I trimmed this to 8.5 by 8.5. It was leftover, so I think it was only 1 by 8.5, but you can go a little longer if you want, and then you don't have to worry so much about that gap on the inside. You could overlap, which would help with the adhesive. You know how mine's popping off. If you didn't have that gap there, that might make it easier for it to stay together. But I just wanted to use what I had left over, so I didn't have to get another thing to use. Get out another thing to use. Okay. All right, there we are. This one is hello, and let's see. Then I made another one that's a birthday card that is similar, but because I use that same type of paper, that Forever Greenery paper, and my belly band has some of those accents like from before, only I don't have the gold side up. I have the white side up on this one. Happy birthday that came from this other retired celebration set. I used some darker rhinestones. This is some pretty peacock ribbon that's going to be retiring, so that's on our last chance list. And this is, like I said, the same paper suite that I showed you. And just goes off like so. I use that banner as well for that. And the Forever Greenery has a texture, a little dot type of a stamp in there. So that's what that is, just tone on tone, pretty peacock stamped. And voila, look at that one, guys. Woo! Does that wake you up or what? And that's the same sentiment to a friend that makes me smile. I did use a stitched circles to cut out that one that time. And I used 2 different ink colors, Just Jade and Pretty Peacock, to make the greenery on those corners. Alrighty, and on this one, I did put a triangle shape or whatever so that you could like write your little message to your friend or whoever you're the recipient. Hi, how you doing? Whatever, I miss you, right? And so that is what that's for. Or you could just slip another piece of paper, little note, a little piece in there that for them to read if you'd rather not write on the back like that. The hardest part, I think, is getting the belly band on, because you kind of have to hold it shut. That's why I was saying, don't make it too tight, because if you do, then you struggle like I'm doing right at the moment. It's not too tight, but it is a bit challenging. How's that? Okay, I meant to do that so it would hold it together well. And let's push that down, and it's kind of just holds these corners from popping up. There we go. Happy birthday to you. I do have another cool sample I want to show you, and it's a totally different stamp set, um, and it's got more of a blue to it, I believe. But I gotta move all my stuff around because I probably buried it, and I gotta put all my stuff away. I did want to show people that I found these things on Amazon that are pouches of super, super thin, I don't know, packaging that's kind of cushy. And so a lot of times we like to take an envelope and put our cards in it. And then if you have some bling on there, if you aren't careful, or if it very likely could make it, these gems could, or embellishments could pop through the back of your envelope. So to avoid that, we usually put like a thin piece of cardstock in there or whatever. But I found these pouches you can get very inexpensively on Amazon. Oh, I think I cut a bunch open already. And I just trim them off so that I don't need them. I don't need both of these thicknesses. But to protect the card, then I just open them up. And you can just do this on a paper trimmer with do a bunch at a time. Just cut off one side there and do the other side. And then you have this nice padding that you could put over your project when you're going to mail it. It just has enough to protect it. But that was really a cool find. I had seen somebody did that and thought that was helpful and a good way to ensure that your card gets to where it's going and not be totally mutilated from the machine at the post office. No, I still probably would not send this one like that. I think I would want more protection for it. But generally, your cards, if you want them to be non-machine, there are these yellow butterfly stamps right now that are out that if you hand that card, your addressed card with your project in it, and have that yellow butterfly, hand it to your post person, then they will not run it through the machine. That it's a little bit more expensive, but it's not bad. I think here are my other samples. Yay! Now this one I haven't decorated, you guys. It's sort of wimpy, but I just wanted to try what it would look like with some foil. And it's just so like striking. I use the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder and I put them on the corners. I haven't gone any more with it because I just think it's so cool and I don't really know what I want to do with it yet. But this is some other paper on the inside that's retiring. Oh, is that gorgeous or what? I just love it. Like, I just want to look at it without even making a card. Oh, I have issues. But isn't that pretty? And I put it on the back too. This is an outgoing paper, but I just thought that looked so pretty because it's got more of that bronze type of a deeper color of foil. So isn't that fun? I just love that one. Woo! Okay. All right, so that was one. And then the other one I made with the Hydrangea Hill suite of products. And I have just the little focal point on there. I used this, we have like a mercury glass type of product that comes with that suite. And one side is kind of purpley or pink, but on the other side it has the silver. And so I'm just using that back side of it here. So I kind of wanted it to be more bluish, as you can see in the DSP that came in that pack. Kind of that subtle on that side, and then it opens like this. And I have that same image from the front repeated onto the inside, and I have some more of the mercury glass there on the inside. I didn't do any other decorating though, like I did the others right here. But this one I didn't. And then the other side, I just used the DSP, not just a colored cardstock. So I used paper, and but it's pretty thick. It's more like a cardstock weight. And then so then I didn't have to do as much layering. So that is that one. It has a quite a bit wider belly band. I think I used I think this is a 2-inch wide one. So you can vary it up to and just do it the way you want. And I did have the Seaside Spray is that ribbon that we have that's retiring. And then I'll see if I can get this so you can see the shimmer. I have Wink of Stella on it, and it doesn't really show it that well, but in person it's very blingy. I just love it. I think it's really cool. So I hope you enjoyed it as well. Those are the samples I have of that. And let me get my camera right here. So thank you guys for tuning in. I kind of had to move this around, and so I'll put it back. I apologize for the beginning sound issues. And I hope you are doing well, and that this is inspiring you to try something that's a little more labor intensive, but it's not hard. You really, if you follow that pattern, hopefully you'll feel like it's laid out very well. I know that I use a lot of product you might not have, and that's okay. Just use your imagination. Keep it simple if you want. Go order some good stuff if you want to do that. If you want something that's a little more similar to what I showed you. If you just want something like that, you can go and find it, and it's on sale. So can you beat it? I don't think so. All right. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of Holy Week and a wonderful, blessed Easter. For those of you family of ours that we can't see or we won't be seeing, we love you, miss you, and friends as well. So have a great rest of your week and Easter. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning in, for sharing, for liking, for ordering, and just for being here. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy it half as much as I do, then I'll be happy. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.